Hey everyone, it's your sleepy friend, your thirsty friend, Sleepy Reader. Not sleepy yet, actually. Um, Today was probably my biggest haul of new comics on a Wednesday that I can remember ever doing. I bought yet another short box. I guess I'm going to end up with a lot of short boxes since I've decided not to do long boxes. But so inside, I have either 19 or 20 or 18 comics. I have to count them. A few of them I've already pulled. They come in plastic bags at my shop. I've pulled some out, and they've already been abused by my daughter, the ones that we may read together. Just a fact of life, unfortunately. Ms. Marvel was one of those. Valentine's Day special, anyone? A different artist, but I've looked through it and it looked pretty good. Not crazy about how he or she does Loki's face, but other than that, pretty happy with it. Elmo Bondoc. Elmo Bondoc, really? That seems like a made up name. But anyway, looks pretty good. Like Loki, like Ms. Marvel, so that should be good. Lumberjanes. This is beautiful, and it feels so nice, and my daughter's already been crinkling it up. But a really nice package. I'm really glad to be getting these physically instead of digitally. And then we got Supergirl, which I'm not expecting too much of at this point. This will be the fourth issue that me and my daughter have read of Supergirl. Pretty decent art. Feels like the writers of it are hardly trying at all. Perhaps, they knew when they came on it that it was going to be canceled. So, yeah, haven't read this issue yet. I'm basing that judgment on other issues. I think it's a shame. One of the writers is brand new to comics, but she's already being a hack. Kay Perkins. Gru and Friends. I'm sure this will be fun. So yeah, always happy to read Gru. Future's End. Last issue of Future's End was very good. I thought Future's End maybe was going to go down at the end of Future's End, the final act, because I guess issue 40 I wasn't so keen on, but then issue 42 seemed to really work. Character-wise and everything. I was afraid the characters would get all lost in just the big attack of Brainiac. And that's still possible that it could happen. But I'm feeling fairly optimistic. Terminal Hero. That's an awesome cover. This has been a really interesting series, and not like anything else, even though it's about a guy with superpowers brought on by the cure of his cancer. But was the cancer really cured? He's followed around by an illusion of a cancer, a human cancer following him around. Anyway, all kinds of really trippy stuff. It's weird, though. It's by Peter Milligan, and it has a very, what would be the right word? It feels like it's done by someone who's a bit naive about how to put together comics. There's a certain innocence, not innocence to the story, but innocence to the storytelling, a little primitiveness to it, I guess, if you will. Freeform, not very structured, which is surprising from such a huge veteran of comics. The Valiant. Ooh, I'm really looking forward to this. The first two issues of this 4-issue series were awesome. I assume it still, has Paulo Rivera on art. I think Matt Kint and Jeff Lemire make a very good writing team. Wow, this feels thick. It feels like it's thicker than ever. The $4.99 Dark Horse Presents, which, normally I complain about prices. Oh, I know. It's the 200th issue, even though it's also issue 7 of the current volume. But I guess 200 issues of Dark Horse Presents. I think Dark Horse Presents might have been the first I might be totally wrong, but to my knowledge, it might be the first comic book series that Dark Horse ever started. It's kind of how they got their start putting together an anthology, and the anthology did well enough and made Mike Richardson connections to comic book artists that he was able to spin off an entire company from Dark Horse Presents. That's my understanding. Maybe there'll be something inside telling us. I've been enjoying reading Dark Horse Presents since I jumped back on it in this new incarnation. It feels like the right size to be. Of course, this issue will be thicker, but the previous incarnation of it was really thick, and I think it cost $8 an issue, and there was just too much in it. So anyway, looking forward to that. I'm kind of reading Dark Horse Presents piecemeal, so sometimes I have to go all the way back to issue 1 and then read a bunch of little pieces too. So I hope to eventually do a video about Dark Horse Presents, but I haven't really been talking about them much. Another multiversity. Boy, this feels thin and light after that Dark Horse Presents. It was also where's the price? I think it was also a $4.99 comic. Not super psyched about Jim Lee, but it's Grant Morrison. To my way of thinking, Grant Morrison has been hot lately. Apocalypse 4. I had no idea this was coming out. The Legendary books, they just don't have much presence online or even in my app that tells me what comics are coming out this week. So it was a surprise to me that Apocalypse is coming out. Feels like I just read another issue, but I'm pretty psyched about it. Another comic that's its own thing, very different from anything else. Bitch Planet. Yeah, I don't know. The issue 2 of Bitch Planet was a lot better than issue 1. I tried reading the feminist article at the back of it that was supposedly going to explain what feminism really is. It made no sense to me at all. And it just made me feel like there's a certain bullshit quotient to what's going on here. But the story was getting a lot better. I hope it continues to get better. In retrospect, the more I think of the first issue, the more I think that was a total mess, in my personal opinion, as a reader. I didn't realize I had already put Secret Identities on my pull list. I had so many comics that I think I would have passed on this, because it's $3.50. It's a superhero comic book, even though it's from Image. So and I actually love this cover. Can't see it well with the plastic on it. I love this cover, but the peek I had at the interior art didn't get me so excited. But it was on my pull list, so I took it, and we'll see. Maybe it'll be great. But there's so many comics that it would have been nice to cut something. I'm really psyched for Autumn Lands. I really liked issue 3, so I hope issue 4 continues that momentum of, looks like a wraparound cover, which is nice. It looks very peaceful and relaxed, with a guy kind of dreaming of battles, but it was anything but peaceful and relaxed in issue 3. The other big question is, it seemed like they were setting up this boy-dog character as the main character, but other than in the first issue, and even in that first issue, he was more of an observer, he seems to have less and less of a role, so I wonder if this issue will give him more of a role. BPRD is interesting, but I still don't really understand it. We'll see if this issue helps me along a little better. I also got, out of the library, I got Plague of Frogs, which I think leads up to this storyline. I'm not sure. But hopefully reading a big, thick volume of Plague of Frogs will bring me up to speed a little more on characters and whatnot. Batman Eternal. Is this a Jay Lee cover? I can't quite tell. It's an intriguing cover. It's got Ra's al Ghul on the cover. If Ra's al Ghul does turn out to be the big bad guy, then Batman's mode of discovering that it was him was pretty low key for discovering the big bad guy. This is the comic book that I'm most looking forward to this week. Batman and Robin. The last 3 or 4 issues of Batman and Robin have been better than any superhero comic book has a right to be, really. So if they keep on this roll. Now, is it ending in April or is it ending in May? If it ends in April, that means, 2 more issues? Yikes. Only 2 more issues of this? That's very sad. This is the end of MPH. It's been a fun ride. I'm not sure how he's going to wrap it up at all. Mark Millar and Duncan Fagredo. He's as this story's developed, he's done a lot of interesting things with his notion of 3 sort of criminals with a bit of a political slant to them getting this super speed force kind of power. Travis, boy, it takes a long time just to do a haul here. Travis alerted me and other people on Twitter to the existence of 8. It's co-written and drawn by Raphael Albuquerque, and the samples of art I've seen are fabulous, like this cover is. Interestingly, is this Mike Johnson the same Mike Johnson who's working on Supergirl and doing such crappy work there? Hopefully he won't affect that. Given the hugeness of my pile, I could have not picked up Rumble, but this cover was so awesome, and I thought, well, what's another $3 after all I'm spending? Yeah, so I picked up Rumble. And actually yesterday in the mail, is it right here? Yesterday in the mail, I got my subscription copy of Star Wars. So I haven't had a chance to read that. I'm also pretty psyched for this. In the first issue, Jason Aaron and John Cassaday did not disappoint. So as long as this team is on it, that'll be fun. Let's see, how many comics did I get, not counting that one I got yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 comics, and at least 2 of them are kind of double-sized comics. The Dark Horse Presents and Multiversity, if not others. Whew. So, cheers to you all, and I'll talk to you later.